here. All we need to get started is one suggestion.
Origami.
Origami. So, back in my earlier days, I was a bit of an artsy, craftsy person. And so I used to get involved in all these different crafts. But I got very excited about them, like, in the beginning. And then later on, I kind of just left the crafts and started something else. So around my apartment, I had all different kinds of half-finished projects. And I used to ask people, like, what do you think of this? What do you think of ceramics? What do you think of, I don't know, crochet? What do you think? And I tried to be like this person who really just was just kind of Renaissance woman, but I never actually finished anything. So people used to come to my apartment and they started to feel bad for me, so they'd finish my project. And then I got the idea that they were doing that, and so I would start like really weird things just to see if they would finish them. And most of the time they did.
I was an only child, so I spent a lot of my time mostly in the house. I wasn't really friends with any of the neighborhood kids. There wasn't really a lot of them. And a lot of times I would love to like go on like, you know, my little adventures, and I would always want to do like picnics and always go camping or whatever. So I would always have my little special blanket and like sit in the kitchen and make my mother like, oh, let's do a picnic in the kitchen. And I would always want to build like a fort. So I had like this really huge umbrella that I always set up in the living room and put like a giant blanket over it. So I was tiny enough to like fit in and pretend that, you know, I wasn't in the house and away from my parents. And if my father, for some reason, I would wake up and I wouldn't be in my little tent. I'd always be on the couch, and my father would just tell me, yeah, I took it down. I was like, why would you do that? I was like 7 years old. He's like, no, I just took it down. I don't want other people to see it. I was like, that's kind of terrible to do to the 7-year-old.
When I was about 15, I decided that I wanted to make my art project out of cardboard. And we didn't have any really sharp knives in the drawer in the kitchen, so I decided to go looking for a Stanley knife in the shed. Now the shed was very dark in my house, and usually one light bulb that was either loose or not working at all. And so I got a candle. Found this candle, lit the candle, went into the shed looking for the Stanley knife. Couldn't find it because it was too dark. Now the other thing that was in the shed was my father's motorbike. Now my father was very fond of fixing bikes, and he showed me how the engine worked pretty much. He showed me where the fuel line was. And I put two and two together that the one thing that would make this candle brighter would be gasoline. So, making perfect sense to me, using the candle, I found the fuel line, pulled it out, turned it on, and dripped some gasoline onto the candle, which went immediately bright, and I let go of the fuel line, and my hands went up in flames. So I decided, what do you do when there's a fire? What does one do when there's a fire? What do you do when there's a fire? You tell somebody. So I put out my hands and opened the shed door and stood there for a moment, looking around the room to see who should I tell. Well, there's a fire going on in the shed, and stood there and said, fire.
You might be surprised I'm in your apartment, but you know, I overheard you at work talking about how you had those dirty dishes left over, and I just had to get back to your place and, you know, clean up a bit.
Wow, this is amazing.
Yeah.
You can't even write coherent notes when somebody calls and I'm out of the office, but damn, those are clean dishes.
Exactly. You know, I figured you'd have a key under the mat outside the front door, and I was right.
That's kind of obvious, isn't it? I know.
Very obvious, yeah.
The fake plant and the little rock.
While I was here, I took the liberty, I rearranged your living room a bit, so hopefully you don't mind that.
Oh, wow!
I finished the financial plans for this year. Like, it was just sitting on your desk. I just had to
You're the greatest UPS guy ever!
You know, somebody needs to get this done.
Hey, I hope you don't mind. just laying there.
Good show on, right?
Yeah, it's a good show.
Before I forget, there's like a fire going on. We'll get to it eventually.
What, there's a fire?
Yeah, it's right over there.
Wait! Oh, we should do something!
It's the finale for ER. I gotta find out how to show, right?
God, is George Clooney to be on?
This week's special guest, George Clooney.
Oh my God!
It's like they knew you were asking.
Wait, honey, the floor is kind of disintegrating.
Yeah, no, but then they're gonna show that new show about the cop or whatever. I gotta find out what's going on.
God, you need Southland?
Hello, is anybody in there?
Oh, honey, I think we should probably...
Yeah, 5 more minutes.
Hi!
Guys, there's a fire. We need you to get the hell out of here.
Yeah, we're watching the end of ER.
Oh my God, George Clooney.
Yeah!